Hey, call me Shape. And today I'm reacting to a video titled Tracee Ellis Ross washes her thongs in the sink. Let's get right into it.
As you brothers know, or may not have known, Tracee Ellis Ross went viral. And it's not for the reasons that you think. She's not talking about dating men. She's not talking about toxic men and young women or anything like that. But there's a greater point to be had here. And basically, she's, I think, somewhere in Paris right now. And she's talking to the world about how she washes and dries her panties and bras after revealing she only packs 2 balls in pair of panties when she travels. Now, for some men, this is not Clapathon Technical University sanitation. This is dustiness and dirt, all right? And I even seen a brother post this particular sink after she might get done, okay, washing. But she posted this video. I want you guys to watch it, and we're gonna come back.
Hello. So I've been away for quite a while. I don't know, it's been like 2 weeks. And I have a couple of delicates that, you know, how much underwear can you bring on a trip? You know what I mean? So it's a hand washing day in Paris. Hand washing in Paris. And I'm gonna show you some of my hacks. So I did shower gel in the sink, and I alternate sinks because there's 2 sinks. So I do, first sink, I fill it like a washing machine, and I get in there, then I fill up the other sink with cold water, and one by one, I use a bar of soap, and I wash each pair of underwear and each bra, old school style. Then I put it in the cold water sink, and I let it rinse, and I let it sit for a bit. I let it sit for a bit on this one too, before I do each pair. And then I take it out of the rinse into this sink, also filled with cold water, and I rinse it under the cold water while it's filling up. Then I let that soak for a bit, and then I do what I'm doing now, which is wring them out, and then comes next. Stand by.
Now, I didn't want to post the whole thing because I thought that most men would be bored with it, and I'm pretty sure that you would be bored with it. That's the likelihood. But I understood that men and women would look at this differently. So I went on the TikTok on the original video that I actually found afterwards, and I found certain comments. Kiara says,
all right, before we get into this comment, and I know people are going to talk about how, oh my God, this makes us feel so close to you. I don't care about that. What I care about is this is the 50-plus-year-old woman who, to me, she has like such a poor use of time. Girl, you're gonna die soon. You're gonna die soon. Okay? And if you have money, please use your money to free up your time from washing your own underwear. Okay? I get it. You're old school in some things. You're a traditional woman for some things. But other things, you're a modern feminist, right? And like looking at this photo, I mean, look at them long yitties, right? Look at them long yitties. Also, I think this is horrible marketing. Right? I think this is just horrible marketing. Like, what are you trying to show people, right? That you're double-minded? That you do some things the old school way, but then, you know, the things that really matter, you do it the feminist way? Like, I just don't get it. Like, who are you trying to appeal with this, right? Like, are you trying to gain more? You don't need any more fans. You have 11 million followers on Instagram. How many more fans do you need? And by the way, I think Tracee Ellis Ross, I used to like revere her a lot more before. Like I used to think, oh my gosh, she's so beautiful. She has such a nice butt. But then you learn more. I didn't know she was like single and had no kids. I don't know these people's lives, right? But then the more you learn about them, you realize like, oh my God, this is someone that fumbled her whole life. Like you were born into the spotlight. Your mother is Diana Ross, but you fumbled it for reasons I don't understand. Like and you're still trying to defend your decision. You would have thought by now you'd have made peace with it, but the fact that you still try to defend your decision proves to me that you clearly are unhappy with it. You're still trying to defend the fact that you're a single woman with no kids and try to justify that I'm happy because I take out my own trash and I'm there for my friends and I'm a good person. My life is full of meaning. Anyway, let's read these goofy comments. Hey, listen up, Shape Squad. Are you tired of being ignored by women? Well, download my free ebook, Be Attractive and Shut Up. It's going to teach you how to master attraction, build unshakable confidence, and win with women without words. Because chances are you're not ugly You just talk too damn much. So download my free ebook, Be Attractive and Shut Up, and take control of your dating life right now. Now let's get right back to the content.
This is why the people love you. Shout out to you and your blonde weed, baby. Number 2, the way she's explaining something so normal in my household. Mercy Rita, she's very excited. I love it. You're still hand washing. Yes. Shows you're still with us regular folk to my girl. This is Sherry McIntosh 335. So women were very excited, if you will, about this. Now, again, this is me understanding that women relate very well to each other. They have different interests that men don't. But I was curious as to what the men thought of this. And in the most respectful comments that I could find, without them being too rude, were these ones. The first guy says, no one wants to know this. This is Molly, okay? Number 2, it makes sense why older women be single when they're single. They be weird and clearly lacking social behaviors that fit the majority or average, okay? Number 3, yes, please, Madam Ross, please talk down to us about cleaning under our underpants. That's what I need. I need a zillionaire to tell me about cleaning my undergarments and letting me know how the rich can teach us lowly scum to wash my britches. Insert eye roll here. So while these are 3 different comments coming from men, it signified to me one thing, that while women are very involved in what they like, it is clear that Tracee Ellis Ross has never took a keen understanding to what men like. And obviously, from what this video shows, she doesn't care. She can teach you how to wash drawers in Paris or on the road and make that a certain level of importance for her audience, but doesn't find any value in what she could do to be valuable to a mate of her choice. And this is interesting because Tracee Ellis Ross, I would not consider her to be like somebody like Dr. Umar Johnson, who would box himself into only the black or the black diaspora or being pro-black. I think Tracee Ellis Ross has lived a very interesting life. If I'm not mistaken, I believe.
Yeah, she could date both white men, black men, any man. She's a light-skinned woman and she's biracial. So she has her pick of the litter. You know what I'm saying? And what's crazy about this for me, my personal take, what's crazy about this is that Tracee Ellis Ross literally fumbled her life for no reason. Now, when I think about Tracee Ellis Ross, what I really think about most of the time is that here's a woman who was born with a silver spoon in her mouth, yet still did not find a way to secure a man. And it's because she don't think a man's more valuable than dick. I'm gonna keep it real with you. All Tracee really wants from a man is to get smashed once in a while. I'm telling you, because when she's talking about, I want to date a younger guy and this and that, all younger men want with you is just to say they hit it. I won't lie, it is still, you know, I pat on your shoulder, you smash Tracee Ellis Ross. That's pretty dope. You know what I'm saying? Like in the sense of like, you know, good story. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like who could say that, right? Not everyone can say that, right? It's a unique story. But other than that, like, you can't become a wife really because you can't start a family. So like, you know, I guess the only alternative for her, and which by the way, she's not even interested in, because she doesn't like men her age, because she said that they're not gender fluid enough. So I think a man her age who already had kids, maybe had a divorce already, and he may be looking for a second wife, she could probably be a good second wife, but she doesn't even want that. She wants a man that's like progressively thinking, right? Far left liberal. That's what she wants. And, you know, Hollywood is that way. So she's kind of, you know, a product of her environment of sorts. But, you know, I think Tracee Ellis Ross likes the chaotic life she has. She likes the fact that she gets to be on TV shows and plays moms and plays wives and all these things that she's never actually done in her real life. And I just think it's sad. I really think it's such a waste of beauty, waste of your time. And I think one day she's going to be really miserable about this. I think we're going to see a major crash out because of this. That's just my thoughts on it.
If I'm not mistaken, I know her mother is Diana Ross, and I believe that they were married for a certain time. She went to Brown University, which is a Ivy League, so there is almost certainly the availability for her to, you know, want to date somebody else that's not black. So when we're talking about toxicity, she can't be just talking about black men, because her world is just not black. My world is black. My world is very black, so I grew up in a very black-centered world, even though I come from Sacramento, which is one of the most racially diverse cities in the country. At least at one point it was. But I grew up in Del Paso Heights. I grew up in a black environment. I went to a black church. We grew up in an extreme black community in the 80s and 90s. So Tracee Ellis Ross is different from me in that regard, and many of you. And still, there's no value to a man. Because what the men we're talking about is we don't care about this. And when I understand the problem that women have as I start to get older, is that many women, as they get older, just stop caring about what men want less and less. And they care about only what they want. So what happens in any sense of the business world, personal relationships, when you're a person that doesn't care about what somebody wants, then the result that you get is they don't care about what you want, okay? And you see this all the time in business. Everybody wants money, they want a deal, they want opportunities, but they don't want to put in any effort to get that, and they cry about what they want. And then once they can't get it, then there's an excuse. It's somebody's fault. And this is what you see Tracee Ellis Ross. When she can't get what she wants, it's toxicity with older men, they're controlling. But I mean, this is a good indication that you care about things that nobody cares about. This is not to say that you can't indulge in washing your own underwear. I mean, that's great. But the fact that you feel like this is important to share with your audience is something that I would not share with my audience. If I washed my drawers by hand, which many people in the African world do, okay? They do. But guess what? Nobody cares about that. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. It's not important to care about. Like, don't you understand that it doesn't matter? And then what do you do when you find out that it just doesn't matter? You know, like as men, we have to be, you can hear men all the time talk about, I don't care about these 304s. I don't care about them. You can say that all you want, all right? But a man that really wants to be with a woman that's good looking, that wants to be with a woman that's doing something, let me tell you, that man is going to be very concerned about what women that look like that and act like that want. I go to an affluent place here in Kampala. I'm there at least twice a week. Okay. And if anybody who's been here and you've been out with me, you know what I'm talking about. This place is interesting indeed. Every Friday night, if you go there, you don't have to, I'm not trying to put them on blast, but if you're single and you're looking for a clap session, just show up there. Okay. Why? Because all of the booty clappers, it's Friday and Saturday. It's not even the club.
Okay, I want to address this thing before you know, Dushea Jackson could go off on tangents about stuff that it's kind of not relevant to what we're talking about here. And look, I get it. He's talking about just dating in general. I want to focus on Tracee Ellis Ross and her washing her drawers in the sink. I don't think what's important. See, this is an interesting story in the fact that it's like, why are you out of all people sharing this? Like, I've dated girls like this. I've dated Puerto Rican girls who wash their underwears by hand. You know what I'm saying? I did a story about this where she brought only 2 pairs of underwear for a 7-day trip to Paris. So to me, it's just a bunch of unnecessary. You're rotating. You're wearing one underwear. You're washing another. Like, to me, it's just unnecessary work and poor use of time and resources. You're a wealthy person. It's like seeing a rich person cut their grass. Like, why? It's more expensive to cut your grass when you're rich than when you're poor. When you're broke, it's cheaper to cut your grass, right? When you're rich, it actually costs you to cut your grass because that time you're cutting your grass, you could be doing other valuable things with. Like for her, right now, because she has money, and I don't know if she's super rich still or whatever, but let's say she has money. Because she has money and resources, if she really wants a man, she needs to take this time and use it a lot more wisely. She needs to have a greater sense of urgency. The underwear in the sink is only a weird thing because of her wealth, right? It's convenient for you when you're living in, you know what I'm saying, in the hood, or when you're like lower middle class. It's convenient, right? It's quick. You don't have to go to the laundromat. The alternative for you is more expensive. The alternative for her is actually less expensive. Because again, her time, let's say it's worth something. $2,000, $1,000 an hour. I don't freaking know. It depends on how much she earns. But let's just say her time's worth $1,000 an hour. If she's spending an hour washing 2 pairs of underwear, that's $1,000 it costs her to wash her underwear. Doesn't make any sense. And I personally believe that Tracee Ellis Ross is trying her hardest to hold us all together. I mean, look at her eye. Her eye is about to pop out of her head. She's trying to convince us all that she's very content with life and that her life has a lot of meaning. But then when she expresses what the meaning is, it seems like it's washing your underwear. It's showing up for your friends. It's taking out the trash. It's proving that you don't need a man. Like, literally being an adult is everything for Tracee Ellis. Just to be an adult. Right? And this just shows you that she has a significant level of arrested development. All right? Sister Shahrazad Ali said this about black women, that they don't mature past the age of 15. And I think Hollywood has the same problem, because once you become rich and successful, everyone turns into a yes man. No one wants to go against you. Everyone wants to be in your corner. So very few people are going to risk losing their relationship with you to tell you the truth. So she's surrounded by people that coddle her and are willing to go along with what she says just to get along. Just to have an invite. Just to be able to tell your friends, I know Tracee Ellis Ross. But I think the real barometer of her success, and for most women, if not all women, is what your husband think about that. What your husband do for a living. If you are a woman who decides to neglect marriage, neglect family, neglect kids, you could do that, but you can't neglect the consequences of that. You might want to delay and postpone and tell yourself, I don't want children. I don't want a family. My life has a bunch of meaning. You're trying to project this information, because the truth is, it's not innate. It's not inherent. There's nothing inherently meaningful about living for yourself. Zero. So I wish people like Tracee Ellis Ross would really get their life together. So you know what? We could actually see her be a good example for women, but it's too late. I think the Tracee Ellis Ross opportunity ship has done left the dock, and it ain't coming back. It's gone. It's been gone probably for the last 15 years or so. And as time goes on, she literally solidifies it more and more.
You go there, the Fluent Men guys are there, right? And so what happens is, for affluent people that go there, you're going to see clappers, and they're going to be there. You want to know why they're there? They want to be around where the rich guys are at, period. They want to be where the successful dudes are at. So they put themselves in that situation. It's just what it is. Okay? They want to be there. If they want a guy that can take care of them, they're going to put themselves in that situation. They will be there every Saturday. And I'm talking about extreme booty clapping conditions. Extreme. These are some of the cheeks you have never seen before, right? Because they want their love life to go someplace. And Tracee Ellis Ross and women like her, they just have never wanted to go anywhere. And it's gone nowhere. And now we can kind of see why, because your focus is on the wrong stuff and you've completely given up. And there you go. It's the same thing with a guy who wants to have a good looking woman. He's going to be on her stuff. He going to basically take care of his business. He's going to have some opportunities coming in. He's going to always put himself in a position to be winning, to access the things he wants. That's going to be the attitude. These women out here, like Tracee Ellis Ross, their attitude is, I'm going to do what the hell I feel like doing, and then I'm going to get what I want. You're a damn liar. So,
and what they're wrong about that is she's not going to get what she wants. There's no way she planned her life to be like this. Childless, husbandless, familyless. I think it just all went by so fast because she constantly numb her mind with activities and trips, possibly drugs and alcohol, and just tried to escape the pain, escape the truth of her life, escape the decisions that she made. And, it's funny because O'Shea was talking about how women are going out their way to meet wealthy men, and he called them the women clappers, and they're going out their way. And it's funny because those women are competing hard to meet men that Tracee already met, to be around men that Tracee's been around for decades. But for some reason, none of those men chose Tracee to have a kid. None of them. So, you know, I don't know what else we're going to discover about Tracee this year. But I think as time goes on, I honestly believe we're going to do a video one day of her having a major meltdown. It's just a ticking time bomb waiting to happen. I'm telling you. That time, the Tracee Ellis Ross time bomb is ticking. It is going to happen. And I feel for her, you know, because she was guided by lies. All these lies that men are supposed to be gender fluid, that women don't need a man, that having kids is not an important thing about your life, and starting a family. You know, it's interesting that people have been convinced against their own nature. I really challenge women to give me a good answer. Why do you think you have a womb for? Well, you think you have a womb just for fun? Just so somebody can smash you for their own pleasure and your pleasure too? I don't like that story. I don't like the story that you have a cervix. I don't think you have a punani just so someone could get an erection and hump on you. To me, that's not a good enough story, right? It might be a good enough story for women, but to me, I think there's something a lot more sacred than just someone getting an erection and smashing you until they explode. Like, come on, like it's just so perverse. It doesn't make any sense. You have to try your hardest not to divorce sex from child rearing the way the world has. The world has since condoms and birth control and contraceptions. I get it, but it's still not our nature. Condoms are not our nature. I'm not saying don't use them, but they're not our nature. Okay? Contraceptions are not our nature. Planned Parenthood is not our nature. People depend on these things, but what they really should observe is what they were put here to do. And the one thing we know for a fact, and we were put here to multiply. That's the one thing we know. Okay? It should be the one objective for most people. I guess I get it that people don't want to do it. I understand it. I guess the buck stops here with them. Right? She's going to cut off her legacy. You know what I'm saying? Her genes are just going to die out. And so be it. If she's okay with it, if you like it, I love it. Anyway, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Channel blowing up. I appreciate you guys. Check out some of my other videos. And I'll see y'all over there.